Now, here's your hosts, the League Dad, Kevin, Mitchell, and Alastair.
What's up, gamers, and welcome to another episode of the All-In Podcast presented by Excellency Esports. I am the League Dad, and once again, I have returned. They keep trying to kick me out of here, but I keep coming back, all right? I might be old, but I'm a fighter. But in actuality, I was so busy traveling. We were just getting back from our trip in California. Got to meet up with Mitchell. I'd say the highlight of my trip, honestly. Finally getting to meet up with one of the boys. We had a good time. He took me clubbing. I think that's what you kids call it, right? Is that what it's called?
we hit the dance floor. He did the robot.
Did the
he
robot?
Did break dancing. He
Yeah.
did a backflip. We got kicked out. He was too rowdy.
I was starting fights.
Too cool. Yeah, he was too intense.
I was just trying to be cool for Mitchell, I wanted to show him that the old guy still got it,
Yeah.
But no, it was fun, and I'm hoping to be able to meet Alastair and Kevin soon, sometime, hopefully. I know, Alastair, you're about to pack up a couple weeks, right? Going to college, moving down closer to my area, South Carolina, right?
Yep.
Nice. Are you ready? How's the packing going? Are you are you getting nervous at all?
No, not really. I mean, haven't really started packing because it's still 2 weeks out, but getting to that point.
Nice, man. Hey, Kevin, I know you're about to move. I think with the Delta variant going on, like, we may be headed for another lockdown. So I'm not sure if are you actually going to move? Like, what's happening?
I mean, for all intents and purposes, I'm actively looking. It's actually very hard to find a place despite all this COVID stuff going on.
Yeah.
So I'm trying my best, but if we're just stuck inside all the time, I might try to negotiate with my company. Like, is there like some kind of like, can I just like rent an Airbnb address or something? Is there like some kind of workaround we can do for this?
Yeah.
Because like, it's not worth it. I've lived there for a couple months when COVID started, because I thought it was gonna blow over in like 5 months.
I know.
Spent 5 months of rent, literally doing nothing. But
Here we
inside.
are.
It was awful.
Yeah. Dude,
That
I
sucks,
hear you.
man.
What about you? How's the job going, Mitchell? I know you started a new job. You're totally adulting, man. I was like, dude, look at this guy in his business casual attire when I saw him.
I know.
How you doing, man?
I was wearing a button up and like slacks.
I
man.
know. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. It's going all right. I mean, I just got assigned to this new team where I do actual stuff, and I'm gonna have responsibilities, and it's gonna be pretty cool. We get relied upon. This was just the end of the quarter, so everything was crazy, like the fiscal quarter or whatever.
Yeah.
So apparently, every 3 months at the end of the quarter, I'm going to be working basically from like 6 a.m. to like 10 p.m. just nonstop, and I have to come in on Saturday. And for that 1 week, it's just going to be terrible. But before that, it's going to be cool, though.
Hey, there you go.
I get to look forward to that every 3 months.
I mean, at least have something to do now, right? So maybe you won't be able to watch LCS during that time. So hopefully it's not around like playoffs or anything, maybe just a regular season.
I think it's going to be like I think it's gonna line up with World Finals.
Oh gosh!
I think.
Speaking of World Finals, did you guys see that IG is actually not going to be able to make it? It's pretty interesting.
Well, it's not that they're not going to be able to make it; they just won't qualify.
Exactly, they won't qualify. Yeah.
You make it sound like they had a schedule coming. No, they're just not.
No, they're not good. Sorry, I should have made it sound more definitive. Like I made it almost sound like no, they're out for sure. Yeah. But I mean, it's just around the corner. But first we got to get through our summer split finals, and I leave for a couple weeks, come around, and Cloud9 and Team Liquid aren't top 3. TSM, I knew we're going to end up number 1, but Cloud9 and Team Liquid, and I love last episode. You guys talked about TSM so much. Thank you very much. I know you guys knew that I was listening, but give me your thoughts real quick on just how things ended up. It's over. TSM in first. But again, let's talk about the absence of Cloud9 and Team Liquid not in second and third, because we always talked about it the entire year. That's the trifecta. So it's different.
It is different. They're at 4th and 5th, and they're actually going to play against each other in the first round.
Yep.
They're not going to knock each other out or anything, but it's kind of intense to be like, usually you play through the first round to get to either Cloud9 or Team Liquid, right? But now they're actually in the first round playing against each other at that 4th and 5th seed. We're in a new era, right?
Yeah.
And it's not like it's like a fluke, as in like, sometimes Cloud9, actually, a lot of times Cloud9 does really poorly during the regular season, and they just make some crazy miracle run to actually get to finals,
Yeah,
or to get
you're
through the
right.
gauntlet,
Mhm.
or whatever. But it actually feels like that they played kind of badly, they kind of improved, they kind of de-improved, but then actually EG and 100 Thieves, not as much 100 Thieves anymore, played really, really well
Right.
to prove themselves as top teams. So we actually have real contenders that we actually I don't think there's a very clear forefront to who's winning the split as there
Yeah.
usually is, right? I would say last split, very clearly C9 or Team Liquid were going to win the split, right? Years before that,
Yeah.
very clearly TSM or C9 or Liquid were going to win the split, and one of them did, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
This year, like, I honestly feel like I do not favor either C9 or Team Liquid. I do favor TSM, but definitely not the other two to win this split. So that's interesting.
Yeah. Quick thing on the rumor mill, just because we mentioned IG in passing. This might be rookie this weekend. Might be rookie in Deshai's last split playing professional.
That's
Rookie
crazy.
said if he didn't make Worlds this year,
Yeah.
he was basically going to retire. We don't know if he's like committing to that or not, because it's pretty disappointing. They were like 13th, I think, top 10 in the playoffs. So it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll still stay, but those guys are legends over there. So,
Yeah, they are.
in general. So, anyways, back to LCS. Other legends.
Our legends.
Our legends. You know,
Little legends. There are little legends.
Little poros.
We're also the best TFT region, right? Anyways, I think that Mitchell alluded to a really important point. I think that for the first time in a while, I feel like our second and, well, at least our third, but like second and third, like they aren't there like de facto because like someone else blew up. Yeah, Cloud9 and Team Liquid to some extent blew up, but like they also recovered at times. It's just that the other teams were just making strides at either early on in the split, like in the 100 Thieves case, or later on in the split in EG's case, which got here. Like, if you think about it, Cloud9 and Team Liquid actually had a buffer from Street Split to like have like 1 or 2 games above 100 Thieves and a couple games above EG. So the fact that EG is in third right now is actually extremely impressive because like I think their split record is quite good, if I remember correctly.
I think it's the best or close to the best.
It's the best or tied with TSM.
I
don't have it on hand, so I'll look it up later. But anyways, it's a big deal. I will get into this, but I will say that I think C9 looks worse than Liquid, but I also don't think either of them should win the split.
Yeah. I think I have to agree. Are you on that same timeline there, or that same thought process, Alastair? Why did I say timeline? That had nothing to do with.
I want to say yes.
Yeah.
I do want to say I don't favor them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, those two organizations do still have a good track record when it comes to best ofs.
That's true. That is true.
While I wouldn't favor them, I would. If it comes down to it, I probably would still take them. Maybe I might take them over 100 Thieves.
Yeah.
For example, or EG. I just think they have more experience, and I think they know what they're doing.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, let's talk about then, since we're on Cloud9 and Team Liquid, let's dive into those two teams as far as roster. Let's talk about players and, you know, what do we see happening? Because they have gotten worse, right? Now, on paper, like, the difference between second through fifth is like literally like 1 game, 2 games. It's so close, but it feels like there has been like definitive trajectories of these teams. And so with Cloud9, for me, you know, one thing I want to point out, I don't know if you'll agree with this or not, but I think Perkz has been a huge disappointment to me. It seems I think each and every week I find myself scratching my head more than once. So that's me. What do you guys think about Perkz and, you know, how he's kind of digressed?
I think Perkz has been playing really, really badly.
Yeah.
Even when he plays good, he doesn't play good through the whole game. He still does a couple of boneheaded, weird pathing, weird build choice things. Even some of his picks are just like, I don't know, man. I feel like you could have picked something else there and it would have been a lot better. I'm at that point where he has been playing like a bit more consistently, like not like completely just flash stunning a ward on Renekton sort of stuff, but just like he doesn't play great, he doesn't play terribly. Sometimes he makes a good moment, sometimes he has a slightly worse moment. So we're waiting for that point where, okay, it's playoffs. Is there playoffs Perkz? Is that still a thing? It was a thing in spring, right?
Yeah.
He didn't actually play that great during the regular season of spring. People noticed that for sure. that he was like, he's like kind of okay, he's not that great, and then he did pick it up in playoffs,
Yeah.
definitely. So this is it, right? This is where we get
Yeah.
to say, if you don't pick it up in playoffs, you're washed. If you do pick it up in playoffs, I guess you get the benefit of the doubt. It's kind of annoying because he gets to run it in regular season and just bring it out during playoffs. But if he does bring it out in playoffs, the fandom's going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's going to say, regular season doesn't matter, just show up in playoffs, and there he goes. He wins the split. Maybe he doesn't even win the split. Maybe he just plays really well and they go to Worlds, right? People will give Perkz the benefit of the doubt. It's a bit disappointing, but I guess those are my thoughts on Perkz. If he brings it up, I will kind of have to forgive him a little bit and be like, all right, you guys still made it to Worlds and you played well during playoffs, so whatever, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be a little bit lenient in some ways. Like, to me, it's like there's totally such things as off years or 2 splits in a row where you're kind of off. Like,
True.
That happens. Like, it happens for even like really good athletes or really good like just esports players in general. Like Faker 1 year will just not show up. Like, not because he's bad, it's just not a great year. Now, to be fair, Perkz is a lot worse than Faker's off years because usually those off years he just had a worse team or players that were falling off around him. I think Perkz. I think he got a little bit of a power up, like, you know, when they were talking about that lighting thing, his LASIK or whatever. Like, we were expecting like an anime comeback, and instead we got a real life comeback. Like, he just got a little less int. He stopped flash stunning wards as much. I guess, which is a very low bar to clear. I think it just says something that, like, unfortunately, and this probably says something good for NA, I guess, is that like players like a Blaze Olive and stuff like that have played just as well, if not better at times, on average, I think, than him. It really is a lot of name recognition there, and like we don't know the intangibles, we don't know what kind of shot calling he brings. Honestly, watching C9 sometimes, I hope he's not the shot caller for everything at least. And we don't know what the leadership and like mentorship he brings to a team is, because like he could just be teaching them stuff about the game. Perkz, like obviously G2 has suffered without Perkz, although they have rebounded. Yeah. So I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. I still think he sucked really badly, like enough that I have to like find other words to fill in what I want to say here on this podcast. Yeah. But he's got enough tenure that I'm like, yeah, he's a good player, but he's just not showing up here. I think his contract's multiple years though, so we'll still see him. Yeah. Unless someone wants to buy out that extremely ridiculous contract. I imagine the Cloud9 buyout clause after they had to buy out that buyout clause. It's not very generous. They're not, to say the least.
Now I he is one who some would say have a wide champion pool. He's playing a lot of champs. Like, for me, like before, I thought it would be like, okay, he can flex because he can play anything and be good. Now, to me, it more looks like he doesn't know what to play. He doesn't know what kind of role to be. And it almost feels, I don't want to go this far, but it kind of feels reminiscent of like a Jizuke. Like, I can make these plays, I can do this thing, but what we've been seeing mostly is he's not with his team. They're not together. He doesn't kind of know what role he needs to fit in. Is he playing like a poke mage, or, is he playing like an assassin or what? And so to me, I think that might be part of the problem. Alastair, let me have your thoughts on that. And, if you have anything else on Perkz.
Well, it's funny you say that because I was actually going to make the same analogy to Jizuke.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Yeah. Perkz. So it's not just me.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
No, it's not. I mean, I expect C9 to do well. I think Perkz is going to do well in playoffs, which, honestly, I would rather see Perkz run it in playoffs. I think it's really crappy overall, just the league itself, just for someone to sit here, cash out, run it down in regular season. And so, no, it's okay. I play well in playoffs. I think that's scummy, but I think that's what's going to happen. I don't hate him for it. It's not his fault. He's getting paid $11 million or whatever it is. But,
that's true. That is true.
You don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah. But I expect C9's going to do well. I don't think they're just going to lose both their best of fives and drop out.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I do think if we want to transition to Tomb Liquid.
Yeah.
I don't know, Kevin. We're in some dangerous waters, in my opinion. Like, yeah, they did look a bit better this weekend. You did say that you thought Team Liquid looked better than Cloud9 right now, but, like, Santorin just got back. And I have no idea. I didn't think Santorin was going to come back for the rest of the year. I really did not. And then out of nowhere, he's just back this weekend. Like, there was a tweet, like, maybe a couple days before this weekend happened. And then now Santorin's back. And he didn't play badly. He didn't play great. He did make that really unpopular tweet Did you guys see that tweet he made? It was basically about 100 Thieves subbing in their academy team to
Oh
basically
yeah.
say like we don't care if we win or lose because
Yeah.
our spot is locked. It does impact what C9 does if they can get third or fourth or something,
Yeah.
which is like a difference. They would play either Dignitas or Team Liquid, right? That's a pretty big difference
Yeah.
in terms of seeding.
Uh-huh.
And then Santorin was basically like, yeah, it's a really crappy move for 100 Thieves to do. They're basically throwing a game, right? But then everybody else was like, it's not 100 Thieves' fault what happens to C9 at all. They're perfectly
It's
allowed
true.
to sub in a rookie team, give their main team a break, and they lose a game. It doesn't matter because they're
Doesn't
locked
matter.
into second seed, right? So that's another thing of like, don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah, exactly.
What are your guys' thoughts on that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Santorin making an interesting
Well,
tweet
I
in
think
that area.
I mean, I think the fact that he came back, like, I don't know, man, like either our mount was really not working and it was that bad, or, you know, something urgent came over Santorin, was like, you know what, I gotta play. Like, this is just too much. But yeah, you're right. It kind of came out of nowhere, and he didn't play bad. My thought process though on it is like, you know, are they even going to be able to kind of gel together? Because it's happening quickly. They don't have a buy. They don't have nothing. And him just coming in like that, while it looks good on paper, I'm not sure if that's even the best move. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. Like, I don't know why he came back. We don't know the behind the scenes, but that's what I think. What about you, the Team Liquid ambassador here? What do you think about your team?
I mean, again, they had a bad game, that last one.
Okay.
But I think the first two were very good, actually. I think that generally, I think what he does well is like a kind of a behind the scenes thing. Like, as a jungler, he is in the right spot a lot more often than Armeo is. Armeo's very good at like, he's like pretty good at like counter jungling and like just finding extra CS leads and stuff like that. But like the way you saw Liquid playing up during that game against Morals, for example, where they just took that turret in like record time on Caitlyn, was like largely because they just knew they had a better jungler behind them. Like, he didn't even have to be in the right place, but that just puts more pressure on the other team because they're like, yeah, Santorin's not Armeo. We kind of have to respect that. That's a problem. All that being said, I would be more concerned about the gelling issues if this was like, he was new to the team, like kind of like when Braxa showed up after a couple of weeks, right? And we had Surefire last year. Yeah, that's a problem. But we've already put a whole split of playoffs, multiple best of fives, and Santorin's a uber veteran.
Yeah.
So like the guy's been around since like.
So you got faith. Yeah, you got faith in the guy.
Right? He was the first jungler after Odd One, right? For TSM?
I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right.
I remember. That was a long time ago.
Santorin, then it was like...
You could look it up.
It was Svenskeren. Yeah, it was 2015. So 2014 was Odd One. Then it was Santorin, and then it was Svenskeren.
Svenskeren.
So the guy's been around at a professional level for long enough that I'm not concerned with that. Since I'd be more concerned if Armeo was still here, because like honestly, they just look uninspired. Like they didn't even look like they were trying. So I think it's pretty good news overall. I think as for the tweet, it is controversial. I agree. I think it's not 100 Thieves' fault that like whatever happens to C9. I think it's the league rules issue, if anything. Like, the ability to affect your competitors' outcomes is like something that kind of happens in the league. But
it happens.
Can't be like certain like measures you could potentially take. Honestly, it's not uncommon though. Like I watch baseball with my brother sometimes, and it's like sometimes if they're against a bad team, they'll just sub. They sub in the third string or whatever. Who cares? Like, it could affect someone else in the stands, but that's just how it is, right? So, like, I saw some of the Reddit takes where they were talking about, like, you know, like, these guys are getting paid millions. Like, the investors are watching, like, these girls. I'm like, have you not watched real sports? Like, at the Olympics, we don't even send our best, like, basketball team or our best, like, baseball players to the Olympics. We just send whoever's, like, wants to go.
Whoever wants to go,
We still sometimes win. Like, that's not breaking the integrity of the sport per se. It's just, like, it's not worth it. Some of these guys have won like 2 Olympic golds or 1 Olympic gold or just don't care.
Yeah, right? And this is like their break time, and like they, you know, what's the incentive? They don't get paid that much, you know, for it if they win. There's more stress on their body, which could impact their professional career back here. So there's too much to lose. But you're right. I think all sports have that kind of in there. If you can lock in a spot, that's kind of your accomplishment. You have the right to play however you want to play, where you can rest your team to give you the best chances of success in the postseason. Alastair, do you think the same thing here? That, you know, Santorin or, you know, is better, or Armao, or let me throw this wrench in there. Is there any other possible reason why they may not be doing bad. Maybe it's not the jungler at all. Like, I mean, Alfari seems to have been playing okay, like his laning, but he's still not impactful. So what do you think?
I think it's a comfort thing, and I think they're more comfortable with Santorin. I think they would rather be playing with Santorin because I mean, it's hard to deny. I mean, TL's doing a lot better, and then Armeo comes in and they don't do as well.
Mm.
I'm not blaming Armeo for all this,
Sure.
but there is a correlation here. But the one thing I do want to say about like this synergy is I think there's going to be a slight lack of synergy, but in my experience personally, like, and to be fair, this is like 80 carry support synergy versus like mid jungle,
Yeah,
and support jungle.
mm-hmm.
If you've played with someone for long enough, which I think Jensen's played with Santorin enough, that
That's true.
Like there's going to be a disconnect for a little bit, but it won't take long to get back into that stride. I recently started doing that. I played with a support for a while for a split.
Mm-hmm.
Then we stopped playing because I wasn't on the team anymore because of college. And then we started playing duo queue again, and we just smacked everyone around it again. Like,
Yeah,
it kind of it doesn't take that long to get back into it.
that
They
makes
just need to
sense.
play.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think you make a good point there.
I think yes, but also I think specifically with jungle, just in how the last time they were playing with Santorin and now the jungle meta was really, really different. Back then it was Udi or
That's fair.
Hecarim.
Yeah,
Now it's Viego and Diana and stuff. So the champion pool being so
It's true.
different. He did play to calm everybody's nerves though. He did play a lot of Viego this weekend. And he looked
Mhm.
pretty good on it. So I think that's like the only thing you could really be afraid of, like really, really afraid of, is like can Santorin play in this new meta?
Yeah.
Well, he could play Viego, and Armao couldn't even do that, and he played for most of the split. So
Anyone can
that's-
play Diana, so we don't have to worry about that.
Oh gosh.
Not
that
Armao.
shot.
I don't know, man.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was gonna
Well,
say, I was gonna bring that up.
to-
Like, I
to
watched
be-
Liquid play Diana for a lot of the
To be
splits.
fair, he didn't not be able to play Diana because he didn't have the hands for it. It's because he lost to Shopkeeper by building
Oh
cabins.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
gosh.
Also,
building your
ulted the
character is
front
part of
line.
playing a character. To me,
Yeah.
it's literally anyone can read a guide on what to build.
Yeah.
He also
You have a
ulted the
flow
front
chart.
line.
Read my
a
mobile
lot.
fire.
Yeah.
Hey, mobile fire.
Is
So
this still around?
I don't know, and
It is.
honestly,
Oh
It is.
I don't know. It wouldn't help me anyways, but that's another that's another topic altogether. 100 Thieves and Evil Geniuses. So we talked about C9 and Team Liquid didn't make, 2 and 3, and these are the teams that did. 100 Thieves and Evil Geniuses. Now let's talk about kind of the flip side here, because in the beginning of the split, we saw 100 Thieves kind of take off, right? We, with the new moves, they were just coming in hot. And then lately they've been kind of fizzling out. And then EG kind of was, maintaining, not doing that, crazy back and forth. It was, you never knew. And then all of a sudden at the end, they kind of got a big burst of energy and, started winning some games. So they pulled through in third at the end there. But let's talk about 100 Thieves first. Second place, people thought they might have ended first too. But what do you guys think about where they are now? Because they're definitely not what they look like, maybe midway through the split. What do you think about how they're doing now?
Yeah, 100 Thieves. I don't know if any viewers can see my camera. I got all blurry. That's exactly what happened to 200 Thieves. As the
Can't
split
see!
happened, they got a little blurry. Well, I don't know how to fix this, but it'll fix maybe itself.
Oh, I thought that was on purpose. I'm like, nice.
Yeah. It's the
it just
fade.
started
It's
happening.
It's like the soap opera, soft the focus effect.
Oh, I'm dying. Yeah, 100 Thieves kind of sucks. I don't know,
Yeah.
man. They're
They
not
suck.
playing very well.
That's
That was not
it.
wasn't a gentle way to put it, but they lost like they just lose to all the
Yeah.
good teams, right? They lost to TSM. Immortals is not even supposed to be a good team. They lost to Cloud9. They lost to
Mhm.
EG. They did beat Team Liquid, but that was with Armao. Like
That's true.
I don't know. They just lose a lot, man.
Mhm.
Like so I am not super confident. I think a big thing. I'm getting really blurry. Holy crap.
It's just getting worse the farther you move back or move forward. There.
I think I think the
Don't edit this out. Don't edit this out. We're keeping this in. Okay, go
Okay,
ahead.
cool. I think the most disappointing thing is that Abidage was like
Oh,
literally a god.
Yes.
He was the best, not just mid laner, like best player in our league
Yeah.
for that solid like 5-week chunk of the
Uh-huh.
beginning of the split. he was just the best.
Mm.
He could do no wrong. Now he feels invisible. He's definitely not bad.
Yeah.
He's definitely still like good, solid. I would still rate him as a top mid laner. Definitely better than most of them, but he's not a god. He's definitely he bleeds.
Yeah.
So
Sure. Bleeds.
I
He's been
I
splattering
don't know.
lately.
Yeah, it's just 100 Thieves has kind of lost that flair. Especially also the bot lane too. FBI and who
Oh yeah.
I think are still the best bot lane, but they've been not really getting as big advantage as much, right? It's not free for closer to just take bot scuttle and take dragons and take bot prio. It's not isn't really getting on the map and getting as much done as he usually does, right? I feel like he doesn't get as much timings to go mid, and when he does go mid, sometimes things don't happen, right? I feel
Mhm.
like if there's a team where you really see that they have the bot timing roam down,
Mhm.
it's TSM with Sword Art.
Oh yeah.
Sword Art has that bot roam down to mid lane so well. Like you will die to it if you're not on like 100%. You know
Mhm.
that hey, bot lane reset. Guess where Leona's going? Sword Art's
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
Leona. He's going mid lane. You will die if you don't back up. And then PoE has a freeze or has a wave coming into him. Like
Mhm.
TSM like has it down perfectly, and I
Perkz.
used, yeah.
Yeah, I know, right?
Perkz, oops,
Yep.
gets caught by that a lot. I feel like 100 Thieves used to have it down. They used to have the top roam down too, really well. Who he would just show up top.
Mhm.
I just feel like it's not happening for that team anymore. I feel like other teams are doing it way, way better. I don't know what happened to 100 Thieves, honestly.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I just like took a look because you were mentioning all those teams. They also lost to like, what was it? They've lost to GGS Dig Immortals in the last 4 weeks. Like just,
Yeah.
just ran the gauntlet. The only people they beat were basically like CLG, like consistently are CLG. They've beaten Liquid, and yeah, that's about it. With
So no
our
one good,
Mayo.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can admit that. I think it's interesting because a lot of the MVP talks for the season were also about it was between like closer or Abadage, and like some people were voting closer, and now like I think this last like 3-4 weeks like stretch probably just knocked at least one of them and probably both of them out of #1 contention for that spot.
Hmm.
It's just so strange for this org because like they just have this like magical ability to drop off when in like right before the finish line, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like the more like 2019, 2018, 2020 C9 where just like yeah they're gonna be like dropping off toward the second half of the split. Maybe they'll do fine playoffs, but they're just gonna drop off
Yeah.
during the regular split, and I don't understand why they do this.
Reapered.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's true.
Mhm.
But C9 still
Head
has
coach.
that issue, so I don't know, man. Maybe there's like a lingering effect, you know, like a status effect.
Yeah.
Again, I think that like the team has the pieces to do well in the best of 5. They still win 18-9 the split. It's just that their second half was really rough
Mhm.
comparatively to their first half. TSM, EG, and 100 Thieves, I guess magically, all had 18-9 records in the summer split. They just have different placements because of their spring split buffers.
Yeah. It's
Yep.
true.
There's literally one game apart between them, so that's
Yeah.
pretty interesting.
Yep.
I don't know if it would have been a tiebreaker, but there could have been a 3-way tie for first if this was just a regular summer split.
Yep.
Just stuff
Yeah,
to think
it's
about.
crazy.
I think 100 Thieves is not going to be like a top 1 contender. There's a chance they'll probably get second or third just because of how strong that seed is, and like depending on who comes up, I believe that they will be playing. Oh, I don't have the bracket open actually.
They'll play
so
either EG or Dig.
Yeah.
yeah,
So they're playing EG.
Yeah, and like EG is kind of rough. If they lose to, yeah.
I think EG has their number. Like,
Yeah,
for
I think so
sure.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in that match, I was like, well, it could if it wasn't EG, maybe. Yeah. I have nothing
Yeah.
else to say for them. I hope that they show some more skill. It's really disappointing. Like the one person, like, well, Abadagi is a sure bet. Like a closer to me, like could have had like 15 great games in a row. I'm like, yeah, he might just like have a bad meta because that's how his jungle kind of works sometimes.
Yeah.
Like Abadagi felt like he still hasn't changed his play. He hasn't changed his champions that much, but
Yeah.
it's just a little more muted, and that could just be because his team isn't working around him as well anymore.
Yeah. Alastair, what are you thinking about them? I mean, do you like their bot lane still? Do you think they're still #1 like Mitchell?
I do. I still think they're the best. I don't think the gap is as big as it was. I think
Uh-huh.
mid-season, like, there was no argument.
Mm-hmm.
I do think EG's bot lane is in the conversation,
Ooh,
but I would
yeah.
still put them. I would still put FBI and Huhi over them. Um, I will say I'm not. I'm kind of halfway on the train. I'm not fully. I'm not fully
Kind of on
off.
board.
Yeah, I'm not fully off just because. I mean, on one hand, you do see 100 Thieves just randomly fall off when it matters.
Mm-hmm.
Like throughout the years, but at the same time, you also see Reaper just randomly do dumb stuff at the end of
Mm-hmm.
the season.
Yep.
And I guess we haven't seen any of these quote unquote Reaper drafts.
Yeah.
But I mean, I still think if I'm gonna give Perkz the playoff or benefit of the doubt for playoffs, I'm
Yeah.
gonna give the same thing to Reaper.
Yeah. That's
I
true.
think it's only fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? Like, do you think they're gonna do poorly or?
No,
badly
like
'cause
I
of
said
Reaper?
earlier, I think Perkz is still gonna do well in playoffs, and I think it's gonna be the same with Reaper. I
Yeah.
feel like if I'm giving one
That
the
he'll
benefit of
do
the
well,
doubt, that
yeah.
they're just like they're just
It's
having
messing
off
around,
couple
but it'll
weeks.
still work out somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean-
Okay. So that means they'll get to finals and then choke, right? That's the Reaper.
Yeah, that's the.
buff, right?
Well, I mean they don't have Sven Ian on Ezreal.
Oh, ouch.
Into a Skarner. when
Never
he's not
gonna
doing
leave
best.
him. It's always gonna be there, attached
No,
to
it's
him.
really not. Especially because he BM so hard and then he
I
lost.
know.
Like,
That's. I
it's
mean,
his
hey,
fault.
you gotta live with it, man. Don't talk
Yeah.
if you can't back it up.
Yep.
All right. Well, speaking of, EG, you mentioned Danny. That is kind of a bright spot again. Young ADC stepping in and just taking the game by storm. What are your thoughts again on EG? Do you have anything else to add as far as their little, spurt here at the end? And do you think that's actually for real? Like, are we going to see coin flip EG in the playoffs?
So I want to say something about Danny. I didn't
Okay.
know this. He actually skipped academy. He went straight from amateur into LCS. I didn't know that actually.
Dang!
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
I didn't know that at all. So he literally went from like he could have been playing in XLC randomly. Like he could
Just
have been
ra-
playing just on amateur
Dang!
proving grounds teams. And he went straight to LCS. I just want to bring that up.
That
I
is
found that out
crazy.
recently.
Yeah, that's
so,
cool.
Yeah.
Wow. That's all we wanted to say. It's just that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you want to talk, Alistair? Go ahead.
No, I was just to say I think if EG uses contracts properly, because I feel like contracts has been better than Svenskeren.
Yes.
But I don't think I at the same time I don't think putting contracts in every single game is the move.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
I like
true.
that.
I think they go with the Cloud9 7-man roster kind of thing. Obviously
Yeah.
it's only 6, but like you know what I mean, where they
Yeah.
like between like they flip flop. I think that's the proper way to play it. So
Yep.
I think if they do that, they have a chance. But it's so hard to tell because we haven't seen them in in best ofs where it's actually competitive. Because we saw them like Spring Split last year. It's like, well,
Yeah, they got 3
no
outs
one's
Yeah.
easily. Yeah.
yeah. They got second or third by default kind
Yeah.
of thing. So I'm looking forward to it though.
Yeah.
I actually think that something I wanted to say about Danny also is that I like to say this about every rookie and just sort of like bring this to the conversation is
Yeah.
that he's never been in playoffs. He's never been in a high stakes environment. He's never been in a 5-game series. You don't know what kind of ways people react. We've seen and known historically there are some players they get to playoffs or where it matters, they choke really badly.
Yeah.
They do not play well. And other players they play like crap all year, and then like Perkz, they just turn it up during playoffs, like Doublelift. He got memed for all of 2020 for being
Yeah.
really terrible. Guess what? Bjergsen and Doublelift still won the split at the end.
Yeah.
Because they clutched it out.
Fair. To be fair, while it hasn't been LCS, he has been in playoffs before. He has done best ofs before in
Right.
amateur, right?
Right.
So obviously it's not the same, but it is still like saying he has no playoffs experience is just not true.
But also, like, to kind of, we talked about this as well, like, because there's no crowd yet, like, and as far as I know, they're still maybe going to be remote because of all the COVID contractions there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know for Double Lift, that was part of the reason he retired. He said, I need the crowd. I need the energy. And I think even players like Tactical, has he even been in front of a live crowd yet? I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
Yeah, so it's crazy to think that a lot of these players, I don't even think Spica has. I'm not sure. But either way, it's crazy to think these players have never played in front of a live audience yet. And so we still have yet to factor that in if that ever becomes
They did play at Worlds in front of a small live
True,
audience.
small live audience, but it ain't like the Madison Square Garden sold out type deal. And so I will say that maybe that helps, maybe not, but we don't know otherwise because we've never seen these young guys perform. And when they eventually do, hopefully, if ever, maybe we'll see them perform better, worse, the same. I don't know. So just kind of throwing that in there as well to maybe that'll help him that he's not in front of a live audience.
Might help him. I also think that Danny is going to get Rookie of the Split, so that's probably good for him. They keep on floating like Blazal and Danny. I'm like, I think Danny's been playing on a different cover. To be fair, he has a better team, so it's a lot.
He's a way better
team. A way better team, but like the guy individually has just made some very, very impressive plays himself. Like there are just times where like they're losing, and I'm like, no, this guy is good. Like we've been saying this the whole split. He's good. He's probably. He looks very similar to how the Tactical looked in his debut split. Like, this guy is very good.
Yeah.
Man. Okay, Tactical's been bringing it up, but man, I feel like I don't know what happened with Tactical. I feel like definitely his trajectory, I feel like personally got like disrouted or whatever because of all like the weird roster coach changes on his team. Like, dude, I feel like actually that was like. I hope Tactical brings it back, like especially during the playoffs.
Me too. I hope so.
Sorry, just to bring
if
that
anything,
up,
he has been though. They were like putting his stats up. Like this guy's been putting up monster numbers if you aggregate over the whole thing. Like he also has the most stats, but he has like monsters like damage per goal and all these other stats. Like he like it's pretty much what you kind of expect from him, but like hopefully minus the deaths. Which again, that's a big part of the reason why we don't see him highly.
Okay, to be fair, at the beginning of Double Lift's career, he got memed all the time for dying inside lanes. Tactical is getting memed for Malphite ulting in. So it's like, it's the start of a legacy, to get memes.
Maybe we'll like look back fondly. Like, remember when we were like joking like this was a downside? Like, no, that's just part of the package. No.
Yeah, that's just what you get.
Malphite ulti.
Yeah. Real short though, EG, I think they're still looking great. If you look at their record, they actually lost 6 out of the 9 games they lost this whole split were in the first 10 games.
Yeah.
Nice.
So the last 17, they only lost 3 times. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That is absolutely ridiculous.
Wait,
so
how many?
We
how
say
many
it's
games?
the paragon of inconsistency. What'd you say?
How many games?
They went 13-4 for the last 13-4,
and then earlier on they went 6 out of 9 or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or 6 out of 10 maybe, something like that. 6 out of 10.
Yeah, that's like because they went 0-3 in their first week, right? Yeah, that's actually that's actually pretty impressive when you think about just like if you just actually give them the benefit of the doubt at the beginning, they just had no idea what the heck was going on.
I know.
Like you cut that off a little bit, like wow, their record's insane. So
yeah,
it is insane. So I think they're gonna be a contender. They actually could get first, like even though they did just get like systematically destroyed by Liquid in game 2. The second game of the week, they basically it was a 40-minute game, but like at every step, Liquid did not look like they were gonna lose that game.
Oh yeah.
In my mind. Again, I'm a fanboy, so maybe I was wrong.
I know the feeling.
There was never a chance, right?
No.
Like they just
you're right.
Very, very systematic about it. But we'll see. I think EG is probably the most hot team.
Yeah, I think you're right. They're kind of on a streak.
We now you said we were saying this.
No, I mean I just look. I haven't said anything yet because you guys did. You guys did a lot of. You guys got a lot of TSM talk last time, so I won't go. I won't go. I mean, when your team is on top, there's not much to say. You know what I mean? So I mean, so before we move forward, right? Is there anything, and let's not spend too much time on it, but is there anything you want to say about the bottom 4 teams? IMT, Golden Guardian, CLG.
FlyQuest had to beat CLG to make it into playoffs, and they didn't.
I know.
Like, what?
Yeah. I thought I was going to be wrong about my Golden Guardians prediction, and then CLG somehow did it. They actually did it.
I was like, what? I was pretty certain. Okay, sucks for Golden Guardians.
Yeah.
FlyQuest is probably going to make it in, even though Golden Guardians is probably the better team. All right, well,
didn't happen.
You lost to CLG. You don't deserve to be in playoffs, man.
I don't know. They decided to just shuffle the roster again for the last week and
Yeah.
they had something
That was
working.
ridiculous. I'm like,
I don't know.
Don't get me wrong. I think the roster they have right now that they ran this week is probably the best way they could run the roster. But not in under a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, not
Like,
under a week.
You gotta keep NXI and Triple in, which is unfortunate. But like, if we see this roster, next year, I'd be happy with that. I think it has potential. To be fair, I said the main FlyQuest roster had potential, but
Yeah.
I think most people said that though. So
Yeah.
I think most people said that. Yes. Also, I don't know. NXI and Triple were the best parts of the Academy roster too. So it's like, yeah, they subbed it out for Jose Yoda and Palafox, which are probably the best parts of the original roster.
they are.
But it's like, I don't know, man. Like, I thought it was a really goofy sub. I would have been more interested in subbing out Kumo, if anything, if they thought
they don't have Kumo's playing on both teams.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind.
Yeah, Kumo's playing Academy and LCS. He's
Oh my
playing on
gosh.
both teams. He's scrimming with both teams.
Yeah, he's definitely their weakest player right now. It feels like
Well,
Kumo had it.
understandably, he's burnt,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah, it's.
I don't blame him. Like,
He's
I mean, I don't
fine.
blame him, but fact is, I feel like
They're not good. He's not good. He's
They're
getting
not
burned
good,
out.
yeah.
Whether it's burnout or whatever, he's just not good.
I agree, but when
Yeah.
you're scrimming with two teams every single day and you're
Oh
playing
no,
Academy,
we have empathy for
LCS,
him. I think it's
Yeah.
that's just the fact though. He's just not good right now.
I don't know why they don't just get Solo back. I mean, Solo's on the team.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
they
still.
should have just put so. I would
Yes,
have liked that.
I applaud that. I second
He
that.
did kind of meme them when he left, though, so
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of his fault. He sent that tweet out. He's like, "Good luck, Golden Guardians." He was wearing a 100 Thieves T-shirt or something, and then Golden Guardians actually beat 100 Thieves. So
Yeah.
I don't know if he's coming back, but yeah.
All right.
All right, let's talk about TSM.
No,
So
forget
they're
forget
the first
TSM.
team.
That's
They're the
fine.
first place team.
Okay, well, so all I wanted to say, and I'll say my piece, and then I'll let you guys just, bask in their glory. I will say that I am really impressed, or I just like Power of Evil. I was on the hater train when he first came.
were.
You guys remember
For
that?
a long time.
Yes,
Yeah.
for a long time.
I
But you
remember.
know what? I think he's my new Bjergsen, man. My old reliable. I don't know. I feel like he's
Yeah.
just he's my rock on TSM, and so I'm a fan. So that's all I have to say. Go POE.
Really? You held back for
Alright.
weeks, and this is all you gotta say about it?
Yeah, because you look, when you're on top, you just let your play, do the talking. I don't gotta do
Yeah.
nothing. I don't gotta fight for them. They were definitively the first place team. So
Definitively,
Alright.
huh?
Yeah.
Well, last
By
week
2
I was
games.
saying Huni was playing really well, and he was, and he still is. But this
Yeah.
week, I'm really just Sword Art is just good now. I don't
He's
know.
good
Sword Art
now.
was so crap for so long.
Yeah.
Like he was so bad. He's still he misses some stuff that I feel like he shouldn't miss. I'm like, I don't think you should have missed that Leo key, buddy.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like that was a really easy one.
there were a
But he's
few of
always in
those.
the right. I really feel like he's just always in the right place, right time.
Mhm.
Like I don't know. It just feels like whether he whiffs everything or not, he's just in the right place at the right time. And I've been pretty impressed. Like I actually really looked into his play this weekend and like pause some videos and be like, oh, he actually does this for him. Oh, he just goes, and it's like,
Mhm.
wow, Sword Art's good. So, I don't know how many years it took TSM, but they finally got that shot calling super macro big brain support
Yep.
that they've been looking for. And yeah, I think he's good. So that's what I want to say.
All right, Kevin, your
Compared
turn.
to the history of their supports, they finally do have one that is big brain. I'll say that if you actually watch Suning, especially when he moved over, even historically, Sword has never been the highlight maker, highlight reel super mechanical god on Flash Wolves or Suning. Even at
Yeah.
Worlds, when they did really well, it's because Bin and Hongfeng and SLFM are just mechanical maniacs. They're
Yeah.
the guys who just have all the hands, right? Maybe not all the
Yeah.
brains, but have a lot of hands. So
Mhm.
I think that's why that team works so well. I think TSM has Huni. I don't know if Lots is in that category, and I don't think PoE is in that category, but at least Huni, he does benefit well from Sword Art either being able to put pressure in mid that translates there, or once in a while roaming up there. Sword Art has been doing better at his timings with his team, so that's great. I think his eternal issue will always be that when he messes up, it's the kind of mess up that a silver player or a bronze player or a player who doesn't play the game
Yeah.
in rank can definitely I can do that. Just hit me
I
on
can
the-
mess it up that badly.
Yeah, when you.
But
can
isn't he
relate, that's,
still?
when
Isn't he
people get
still
on their page.
second in the solo queue ladder? He's up there.
there.
Right?
he was.
I don't know
At the
what
very
he
least,
is, but
he's
it's a
been there, right? Which, like, if anyone who's main support,
Yeah.
like, it is easy to get to masters or grandmasters, or like depending on your skill level, it's easy to get to like that level as a support. But to get to the top 10 as a support main, without, because I don't believe you can dual queue past masters.
Yeah, you're right.
Masters
You
and
can't.
over. So like, it is not easy at all.
Yeah.
You are very influential in the early game, and then after that, like, yes, you are influential still, like, because of how strong early game can snowball your AD carry and all that. But you personally aren't doing much more after that, in my opinion. I think jungle is more impactful, and historically mid was.
He is rank 1 right now.
Yeah, he's.
Yeah.
I will say, rank 1 and rank 2, Sword Art, Core JJ.
That is so. That is so
Like,
NA.
both. Like, he's got like the brains part, and like when
Yeah,
he's
the mechanic.
on,
Yeah.
like, that guy makes some like ridiculous plays. Like,
And
Yeah.
there's another support in the top 10 as well. Though at the same time, I will say, Core JJ
Destiny.
and Sword Art, both of their AD carries are also in top 10. So
Yeah. Tactical.
Okay.
Wait, where? I don't see. Oh, there's
But I-
Lost. Yep, Lost is
Yep.
9. Yep.
Lost and Tactical.
That's true.
The thing with, I will say, the one thing about Challenger Grandmaster games, it's not that hard to queue snipe people because there aren't that many people. So you
Oh,
can
yeah,
easily
that's
just
true.
queue up and then there's basically a 50-50 chance you're laning with your duo, right?
Yeah.
that's true.
Or you're
Sure.
against them when you sit there in comms and flame them. It's fun.
You're sitting like
Yeah.
next to them in the practice
Yeah.
room, and you're like,
No,
yeah.
it's a blast. It is a
Hey,
blast.
That
I'm
sounds
sure that could be
hilarious.
fun.
I'm ganking you.
I know. Meet me in the river. Meet me at Dragon. Yeah.
What if you want me, bro?
I'm
Yeah.
glad that he actually gets like not to have the yellow star treatment, because like I don't want another world class support's legacy to be ruined because they
Yeah.
came to NA.
Yellow Star,
before
Mithy.
because they came
Oh
to
my
TSM.
god.
Because
It's
they
true.
came to TSM. Let me
Yellow
be
Star and Mithy, dude. What the hell? TSM actually ruined those players. Both of them retired after TSM.
They
By
did.
the way.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Mithy's pretty happy with this career. I have no idea what happened to Yellow Star after.
I thought
See-
Sven was gonna retire, but you know,
yeah, it was
Yeah.
Mithy instead.
I thought Sven was also gonna retire. So
Yeah.
Still got it. That's what he's thinking.
I mean, he
Uh,
hasn't this split, but you know.
Yeah.
Hey, you got a pentakill, man. Didn't you get a pentakill?
He did
So-
get a
In the last
pentakill.
game, in the last
Yeah.
game.
Didn't he smurf on Team Liquid to get a pentakill?
Yes. he
Didn't
Yeah.
Team Liquid? Okay, I just want to talk about Team Liquid's draft. Didn't they pick like 5 poke champions against the Xin Zhao, and like they couldn't touch him?
Yeah. There were like plays where they executed like a really good combo, and then like it all just hit the wall, and I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
what did you think would happen? I was like yelling at my monitor, but I was like, whatever, man.
I
Get-
thought
get
maybe
these
Jensen
trash
would be able to
crap.
carry with that Azir because he was
played
pretty
well,
fast.
man. He was
Yeah.
like not super well. Sometimes he got fed, but out the kills, but like he was doing well.
Yeah.
I mean,
think
they
had a
picked
good draft if
they
they
picked
didn't ban
3
Zin.
laners who all get bodied by TF. So
Yeah.
They get bodied by the TF Camille combo. They can't deal with a Braum or a Xin Zhao. They have nobody who can actually get. They can't get it. Like
Yeah.
their draft is so bad. The Viego there was literally like I dive in and die by myself. Like
Yeah,
Hey,
it
if
was-
we're-
it
are
was
we ignoring
actually
the
as
fact
bad
that
as
they
the
actually
game against
did
TSM.
basically deal with it though. Like there was it was back and forth all the way until like 23 or 4 minutes.
Yeah,
in the
it
game, and
was.
then the game was
that's
over.
true.
it shouldn't have been though.
Yeah.
It was because
Shouldn't have
honestly
been.
it's because C9 played it worse. Like
Yeah.
C9
Yeah.
played it fine, but because C9 was like making dives they didn't need to and just dropping thousands of gold into
Yeah.
the hands of the Viego or not the Viego, the Azir.
The Zir, yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
So they were
tactical
just-
went Triforce. I'm still very conflicted on that one.
I don't know if the math works out there.
Mixed
honestly,
feelings.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like
I still prefer my Kraken Slayer build, but you know, that's me.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
You
don't
need
know.
a you need to be a positional coach for these teams, man.
Nah, I've
Yeah,
been running that stuff that build since preseason, bro. Kraken
Yep.
Slayer, Quick Blades, Ezreal.
I
It's so
play
much
that build
fun.
in ARAM. I pull it. That's my
That's
ARAM.
so
as well.
fun.
I'm not convinced about the quick blades. I can see the Kraken Slayer.
Dude, the quick blades is what makes it so. You turn into Earth Ezreal, dude.
Oh, I mean it's fun, but like just like Urf Ezreal, it doesn't
No, like-
actually win that much.
Yeah.
Urf
No,
Ezreal's
no,
really, like,
if you're playing
average.
Ezreal really well and you can weave in the auto attacks, your damage is. I'm not exaggerating when I say you do double the damage like in a team fight. than you
Dang.
do in the
Yeah.
rank.
All right, we might have to queue up a
but,
game.
But the realistic thing, because of how much damage in the meta is, like you're not gonna be able to weave that many autos in, because there's just too much shit that jumps on you.
Hey, man,
and sits
if-
on you.
You early pick Ezreal, and the enemy team is like, all right, we're just gonna pick a bunch of like sustaining tanks. We're gonna pick Cho'Gath.
Yeah,
and you're gonna be
exactly.
Cry.
Yeah.
That is true. If they just
Boom,
pick a bunch of
baby.
nuke balls, you
Yeah.
definitely.
I've
Mhm.
played building scrims just for
Yeah.
that reason.
Y'all might see an
baby.
ARAM VOD of us playing. If we get Ezreal, we'll just play that build. Just
All right.
yeah.
If we see Kraken Slayer Ezreal this weekend, we know where it came from. But we know what podcast they've been watching on the low.
Sunderer, Lee Sin,
Yeah.
and Kraken Ezreal.
All right, listen
Right
to
here.
all of those.
The
Positional
Sunderer part,
coaches are
I
here.
think should absolutely be a thing, by the way. Like,
Yeah,
Lee
Lee Sin
is
Sunderer?
just like
Yeah.
a heal every 20 seconds or 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, like Divine Sunderer's every like 3 or 4. It's really just magnitudes different. in terms of
It's also
effectiveness.
you just do so much more damage. Like Divine
I
Sunderer,
don't
like you get
understand why
so
Gorgon
much.
gets so popular.
Yeah, you proc it every 2.5 seconds as Lee Sin because you have so many abilities. It's so broken.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
It's
Alrighty.
Okay, well,
yeah.
we need to move on to.
Yes,
There's
we
some
do.
games this weekend. Okay,
I heard.
let's not look in the past.
Are there?
No, wait, it's not this weekend. Is it this weekend?
It's this weekend. He's
I'm
trolling.
messing with you. I'm messing with you.
God, Kevin, why do you do this to me, man?
I rarely do it, so it has more impact. That's
Guys.
the point.
By the way, if you're listening, I am wearing an American flag that's a tank top. Just
Yes.
throwing that out there. Got it at
League
Target.
Dad's the league
What, was it
douche.
made in
No.
America?
I'm so. Oh my gosh, you got me rolling right now.
I
Okay,
suppose that does fit a Yumi
I am-
Vladimir player, doesn't it?
it is. Yeah,
The league douche.
it'll never.
alright.
Okay, all right. For real, guys, we have for real. We have C9 and Team Liquid. Well, first we got EG and Dig, but I'm more excited
Yes.
for C9 Team Liquid. So let's get EG and Dig out of the way. Predictions. Who's gonna win?
3-0.
Okay.
Don't we
3-0.
also need MVP? Or player
Yes,
series
but
or
is
whatever?
everybody 3-0 on this boat? I mean, I
Okay,
am.
I'll do my whole thing. I think it's gonna be 3-0 EG, and I love Fake God, but Impact is gonna top gap the crap out of him. Anyone remember
Yes.
when Impact just like actually made a world record against literally Fake God and like top
Yeah,
gapped,
that's
like,
right.
golds percentage?
Yeah.
That was like 2 weeks ago. So I think Impact is gonna be player of the game.
Okay. That's it. That's
yeah.
your player of the game.
Or
Okay.
play the series. Play the series. Yeah.
All right. Kevin.
I mean, I find it hard to believe that it's gonna be anything different from that. Like, Dig did look a little better toward, like they did like take some pretty important games toward the end, but yeah, I think it's gonna be 3-0 EG. I'm sorry, man. They did beat TSM, which is the #1 seed.
A roll swap. Everybody
Yeah.
roll swapped in that
true.
game.
Again, it was not a real game, but like,
Yeah.
hey, Canadian's Shadow was kind of cool, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just
yeah,
making
Katie-
shit up here. I honestly think there's not much to say.
Yeah.
I think he's just gonna roll them.
Yeah.
It might be funny, but
Who's your player of the game?
my
the
player
series.
of the
Series.
game-
Sorry.
Oh,
There is more than one game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am gonna put it on Ignore for this one.
Oh, Ignore.
Wow. Okay.
I just think there's just gonna be a lot of playmaking from there, and it's probably gonna shine throughout.
Okay. Alistair.
I'm gonna go 3-1 because I think we're gonna get a Jizuke game.
There we go.
Hey.
There we
let's
go.
I think there's gonna be one.
For a
Um,
moment, I thought you were saying he's gonna be the MVP. I was like, player of the series. I'm like, no way.
no, I think we're gonna have one. I think we're gonna get a game 3 Jizuke where he has a little too much fun.
You can
Vintage.
never take the Jizuke out of Jizuke, man.
It's also
Yeah.
possible he
Yeah.
gets MVP for the series just because he's stomping a weaker team. You know? It's possible.
Yeah, like,
Maybe.
he's gonna 1v9 the other 3 games, but game 3 he's
There's just gonna be that one.
absolutely die 12 times.
The most
Hey.
backhanded MVP series ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean I'm also gonna go Impact though. Same with
Okay.
Mitchell.
That's
Yep.
fair.
All right.
Impactaroo.
I am gonna
The dude's
do.
nuts.
I mean, I'm going 3-0. Same thing, and I am for the same reasons you guys just so eloquently said. I will say Impact as well because I do think
Wow.
that's gonna be a gapperoni up top. All right, let's go to the better match, the C9 Team Liquid matchup here. Let me start with you, Kevin. You know, I know your heart and soul is in this series right now. Rematch of spring finals. What you got, man?
What a
I mean, what are you
sad
thinking?
rematch, man. What a sad rematch.
Hey, but this time
This is like when you
Santorin
bring
is
the two
in.
veterans back for a
Yeah.
show match or something like the two
Yeah.
retired
Bro, it's like
veterans.
it's like
how it
Ortiz
feels.
Liddell 3, man. They both just washed up.
Yeah. You're like, people are still paying to see this? What's
Like, bro,
Okay.
you're both like mid 40s.
Yeah.
Alright,
Oh,
what I'm gonna
man.
say is playoffs, Liquid and Cena are different beasts. They'll probably show
Okay.
up a lot more. There's gonna be a lot more interesting stuff going on. you already heard my spiel. Like even if they weren't, like even if I didn't power rank Liquid above C9 before, I'd still vote for them. But I think it's gonna be close. I think it's gonna be 3-2. You saw that last game split.
Okay.
TL had a garbage draft, guys.
Yes, that was
they almost
terrible.
came back off the back of C9. Like C9 almost invited them to win that game. So like in that sense, I believe it's gonna be close. Honestly, I don't know if Liquid has a drafting coach. Like officially they might, but I don't know. If
I hope they don't.
I know that would be really bad on them right now.
They had
Jeez.
a drafted coach and he was making those.
I wouldn't claim that position. I wouldn't claim that position.
Did they ever replace, like, put a permanent? I don't think so, right? Just so it doesn't interrupt the flow is what I thought.
Yeah, it's just cold is just there.
Yeah, and I don't know if he was a drafting coach. I think he was
I don't know
more
either.
of a-
I don't think anybody's claiming that title right now. They're like, I'm
that's
not the
something I'm
drafting
worried
coach.
about, but honestly, the fact that they almost came back in a game with a comp like that against the Shinzao and the lead that C9 had early on, it's like, yeah,
It's true.
there's a chance. So
I mean, I
think
did
it's
think for a
pretty
hot second they might win that game, but
Yeah, I did too. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
for a long bit of a second, maybe I'm delusional, but
it's all right,
hey,
man.
C9 made them sweat in the opposite way. I guess they're like, wait, we're gonna win?
Yeah.
Can we actually win with this terrible freaking draft?
Yeah.
Oh my
They were
God.
know,
like
right?
trolling. They're like, wait, we're actually winning,
What's
guys.
happening?
What?
Well, who's your MVP or player of the series?
My player of the series will probably be. I'm gonna put tactical in for this one.
Whoa, tactical.
I did not expect that.
I think he's
Me
been on a
neither.
good trajectory. Like
Well,
honestly, as the team has been formed around it, he literally just like yeah, I'm just gonna solo kill this guy in mid. Like as like just walk him down and be like very aggressive. Like he's always been like that. But without a team behind you, you're just gonna look bad, right?
Yeah.
So he also didn't Tristana jump like once in a bad way during that one Tristana game. So I'm just saying,
Yeah,
I
he
think
played
he's
well
on the
then.
up and up. He's gonna look really
Okay.
good.
You got
I
faith.
say that, and
I
I'll
like
come back
it.
a week later and be like, hand in my face.
That's all right, man. It's your team. I get
Yeah,
it.
you're gonna have to wear the Cloud9
The
shirt.
Cloud9
or
shirt.
whatever.
Yeah.
remember?
Hey, at least you have one already. So there you go.
It's a nice shirt, honestly.
Yeah.
but-
See?
Yeah, you're gonna have to wear it if they
You
lose.
somehow knew you were gonna have to reuse it, so you bought a nice one. I
wore
get
that
you.
shirt to work just like on one of the days, and then they're like, "Oh, you're into esports?" I'm like, "Yeah," and then we talked like it was a conversation starter. So that was
Nice.
nice.
Oh, nice.
That's
But
cool.
now they
Obviously, I
think
work
you're a
at a video
C9
game-
fan, though.
I mean,
Yeah.
I work at a video game company, so I was
That's
like, it's
true.
not
Okay.
unusual for them to know about it, but it's just
You play video games? What? Okay.
I mean, it's a mobile game.
I know,
company, so it's a
what?
little different. from
Yeah.
video
You got any
games,
games on
know?
your phone?
Hey, man, you got some game. You guys want to play games? Okay, Mitchell, go. Your turn.
Mitchell go? Okay, Mitchell will go. Shoot.
He
man.
wasn't
I don't-
ready.
I
He
was
wasn't
not
ready.
Okay, so before Kevin started talking, I was gonna go C9, and then Kevin started talking. I started thinking about Team Liquid more.
He's
And-
selling it.
Oh man, like I want to believe in the playoff Perkz hype, but Fudge is clearly the best top laner.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's so much better than he was last time.
Mm-hmm.
Blabber is actually playing kind of terribly.
Mhm.
Sven is kind of playing terribly. Vulcan is
Okay.
playing actually kind of good sometimes, depending on what champion. It's so hard, man, dude. You know what? I'm gonna go Team Liquid.
Oh!
Kevin
What-
convinced me.
What's the game
Yeah.
score? What's the game score?
Let's go. Let's go.
It's gonna be 3-2.
Okay.
I would have voted for Team Liquid last spring if it was Santorin over Ormao. I feel like I have to give Santorin the respect.
Mm.
FlyQuest days, I would always vote for Santorin back then as well. I really like Santorin. I think he's really good. I think it's unfortunate that he just kind of had to jump in here, but
Yeah.
he looked pretty good, and I'm hoping he can just play the meta. If he can just play the meta, I think that will help so much for Team Liquid, because putting on Ormao on Sejuani and Trundle over and over again
Ugh.
was just really painful.
Yeah.
And then you saw that one Diana game, and you're like, that's why he's on Sejuani.
Yes.
So
My word.
I'm gonna go Team Liquid. I think
Okay.
it's gonna be really close, and I would not be surprised if C9 won at all. But my player of the series will be Alfari. I think
Alfari?
that
Ooh.
Fudge is great, and if Team Liquid does win, like I think they're gonna win, Alfari's gonna be like, I have finally returned. I have a jungler.
Yeah.
I'm back, baby doll, and he's gonna, I think,
Maybe.
do pretty well.
Yeah,
I
you
hope
might
so.
be right.
I think it's gonna be a sick ass top lane matchup though.
Oh, yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Remember when the first week we thought it was gonna be, or not first week, but early on we thought it was gonna be Gap the other way. Alfari just dumpstering him. At least that's what I
now
thought. So.
Alfari has to come back and prove that
Yeah.
he's not gonna get dumpstered by Fudge.
How the
so.
tables have, how the turntables have.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Okay, Alistair,
I
where
get
you?
that reference.
Come on.
Yes, you're very old. We
Come
get
on, y'all watch Office. That ain't that old. Come on. Okay, Alistair,
it.
forget it.
I'm very conflicted. I also think it's going 5 games.
Yep.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna go liquid as well.
Okay.
No way!
Wow.
I thought
I
Liquid was
thought I
gonna
was gonna be on an island.
Yeah, I thought me
Woo!
too. All right.
Let's
go.
I don't have the faith in Blabber, and I don't have the faith in Sven. I don't have the faith in Vulcan right now. I just
Yeah.
like, those 3 players are such big question marks for me. And like, while I do still think we're gonna get playoffs Perkz, I don't know if him and Fudge are gonna be enough. I think Alfari is still good enough. I think Santorin. I mean, we saw how close it was when our Mayo came in. We had a 5-game series that C9 almost lost, and in my opinion, C9's worse than they were then. To be fair, Liquid is worse, but I don't think they're as much worse, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So I feel like we're gonna get a 5-game series. I think it's gonna be Liquid, and I'm gonna give it to. It's either Alfari or Core JJ. It's got to be one of the two.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go Core.
Core.
I think Core is just always the safe bet.
Yeah, I think that's always
Core
a
is
good
a very
bet.
safe bet. Yes.
Yeah. I think. Look, I have to go with you guys. Same thing. 3-2 Team Liquid.
Wow.
Because I mean, there's nothing I really can disagree with. Yes, Blabber, Perkz, Sven, all of them have been playing subpar. I do think they're just the worst team right now. I do think that Team Liquid, whether they had Armao or Santorin, I think the fact that they do have Santorin is going to give them a big boost. And my only difference is that I want this to happen, and I think it could. I think Santorin could be MVP. How good of a storyline would that be, right? I came back from injury. I played, and look, if he gets Alfari ahead and it looks like, and he makes Alfari look good, I think people will be talking about the Santorin difference, right? And how he enabled it. So I think that he could win MVP for that, just because I think the spotlight will come in on him. So that's my thoughts. I do think
Jensen,
Team Liquid's gonna do.
then.
Yeah, I mean, Jensen is also one of those, to me, he feels like a Power Revival Bjergsen kind of
He's there.
Yeah, he's there. He's pretty good. I mean, he's just gonna be kind of consistent. So
How far has Jensen fallen? Sad.
yeah, I think he's happy. He's won a few splits. He's
Yeah.
he's pretty
His
accomplished.
trophy
All right.
case isn't empty.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's not. All right.
The only thing I have to say about Team Liquid is that if there is a way for them to lose a series, it's gonna be some monkey drafts, man. It's gonna be those draft situations where you look at it, and they have 4 picks. You look at the 5th pick, there's literally nothing you can lock in here that'll make this 5th pick save the draft. They lock in something. You know what? Somehow that made the draft worse. Somehow that made the draft worse. I don't know how you do it, Team Liquid. Sometimes you just make it happen. Ivern top. I don't know. The frickin' 3 poke into Brahms and Zhao, the 0 damage into Mundo, please don't do it, Team Liquid.
Yeah. Okay. Well, is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Anything about the meta? Anything you want to mention outside of the teams that's going on this weekend, or just any final thoughts as we start wrapping it up?
I've got 2. So one,
All right.
do we know if Action's going to be enabled?
He is not enabled.
I sure hope not.
I know, right? God.
I don't think he's enabled. I know he's disabled for Worlds. And I know, so I'm pretty sure he's not going to be enabled for playoffs.
I would imagine
it's going to be a while then since we've seen him.
I mean, I think he's bad anyways, but
Yeah, he's terrible.
the other thing I do want to say, a bit of a closing statement. I wanted to shout out to Cuban Dom. Came by while I was streaming.
Oh, cool.
Had a good back and forth. It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Nice. All right. How come you never invite me to your streams, man? Wait,
We don't.
how come you never play with me anymore? Oh, I see how it is.
What do
He's been ghosting me. No, I'm just kidding.
You've been on vacation, bro.
No, I know. I haven't played in 2 weeks. I'm kind of scared.
Called out.
I'm just kidding. Nobody wants to carry me. I'm just too old, too heavy. Anything else? You guys got anything? Kevin, Mitchell? Final thoughts?
Yeah, I would just like to say that at the end of the day, You know, Golden Guardians made it in, FlyQuest didn't, and it's kind of cool. I'm excited.
True.
I don't know. We'll be talking about them next week for Golden Guardians.
Yeah.
But it would be really cool if they could actually do something in playoffs. That's what I think.
True.
Bunch of rookies on that team. Nobody had any hope for them. I think they made it into playoffs with like a 30-something% win rate.
Yeah.
Someone needs to look at that.
I
don't
know,
if
right?
this
That can't be good.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. I
Yeah.
love double round robin. I mean, not double round, double elim.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun. I'm really excited for playoffs. I've been
Yeah.
looking forward to this for a long time.
Sweet. All right, Kevin, anything? Kevin.
Kevin is out.
All right. I was asking if you had any final thoughts. You kind of just zoned out there for a second.
No, I just zoned out.
I was like, does he hear me? You guys can't see it, but for the podcast listener, yeah, he was definitely had that zone face on.
As for final thoughts, no, not really. I think that Liquid's just gonna look better during playoffs. They'll probably ramp up. I think this is the best matchup for both of these teams, by the way. Just as a great warm up. It's a very high, even though they're like, you know, we're like talking about them being like retired 40-year-old, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's not even that old. But we're talking about them being retired and everything. Like, yeah, I mean, they still could ramp up against each other, and it's a lot better warm up than whatever the Digna and Haas matchup will be.
Oh yeah,
these two teams are going to be really scary for whoever have to face them in the higher and lower side of the brackets.
Yeah. Yeah. I do think like, well, okay. So what's crazy is that the following week, no matter what, we're going to see TSM versus C9 or Team Liquid, which is already going to be another pretty, you know, hype matchup. So I'm looking forward to that. And I can't wait to talk about TSM more next week. But yeah, that's going to do it for our episode. Remember guys, if you aren't part of the Discord, we'd love to have you. We love building up the community, talking about LCS and all that good stuff. If you have any questions, feel free to email us at questions@theallinpodcast.gg, or you can tweet us at the All In Podcast. Thank you once again to my co-hosts Kevin, Mitchell, and Alastair. Even though you're busy and you got your lives, you still make time to chat it up with an old man like me about a video game. So until next time, enjoy your climb on the Rift. Try not to be too toxic, and we will see you all on the next episode. Peace.